Are you a human? No, don't want to know. Don't want to know.
So the title of this video is, does your personal trainer need to be in shape? Click to about 3.5 minutes into this video for that discussion topic, and there's another topic for the start of the video, the first 3 minutes. They're both interesting, but the first bit is about food, the second bit is, does your trainer need to be in shape? And a debate on that. Check it out. Alright, cool topic for this week's video. Basically, here at Pure Gym, where I work, I'm in like the staff room, we're having some redecoration into the staff room, which means we have no access to water, a fridge, a microwave, a toaster, all the things you normally use to make your food prep go easy. So I'm going to have to buy everything all week as I go. So, you know, it's going to be like burgers and chips now. It's not going to be like that. So I'm going to show you what you can do if you haven't food prep that day, or you don't food prep, or what are the best choices to make. Yeah, because I often get that, like, oh, I didn't prep, and you can still make the right decision. It can generally cost more, but we will see. We're going to use the flexible dieting method, which is what I use if it fits your macros. So I just look for carbs, fats, proteins, just hit my numbers. My numbers are 350 grams of carb to 400, somewhere around there, depending on my activity that day. Around 180 to 220 grams of protein, and then somewhere between 70 and 100 fat. Try and keep that below 100 fat, just to hit my calories, because I burn quite a lot doing what I do. As I said, you want to calculate your own, go and do that. There's loads of calculators online. So I just got back from the shop. What I picked up for lunch is this big thing of salad. I've got some French dressing, which is pretty low calorie, to chuck in there. Then I got this packet of chicken and some cinnamon raisin bagels. So I'm going to have 2 of these, but obviously if you want a more calorie restriction, you can just have 1. In these there's 45 grams of carb, very little fat, and 10 grams of protein per bagel. Don't know how much I believe that, but it says it's in there. Take a little pinch of salt. Chicken, then there's not much carbs, a little bit of fat, and about 38 grams of protein. So I just keep tracking it and put it into my MyFitnessPal, and that's going to be my first meal. So salad, chicken and a bagel. The only negative is that it's more expensive than what I would have normally paid for lunch. But this whole thing, as well as a Diet Coke and a big bottle of water, cost me £7. So that's quite a lot when you think about that for meals as you go. But first meal, first tip, try it out. Salad bulks up the meal, stops you getting hungry because you feel full, you got the volume. Chicken for your protein, bagels for your carbs. What else do you want? Also, lacking a little bit of fat this meal, so I will try and get that back somewhere else, probably in a protein bar or something else, maybe some fish. Another thing you can do is look for restaurants that you like, or places you like, and see if they can fit into your macros. I like Subway, so I've got myself a footlong from Subway. I got just chicken breast in it, no cheese. It was something like, I put it in my MyFitnessPal anyway, so I can plan it. It's about 90 odd carbs, and with the double, well, just plain chicken breast, I think it's like 30 odd grams of protein, and not much fat at all really, because I've not got the cheese in there. So that's another tip. If you haven't prepped, look for somewhere that you think could be alright. Look on their menu. Normally they're online or they're on the MyFitnessPal app, and you can use that. Another tip, got some fruit. I also bought tomato and basil and chicken twice, and then a Monster, obviously, because caffeine, and this huge, well, this pot of salad to keep me full. That adds up to, well, I've just put it through my MyFitnessPal. It leaves me with about 90 grams of carb, but I still have 80 grams of protein that I need to eat today. I did pick up another meal deal that Tesco do, but I looked at the fat content, it was really, really high. So it's definitely worth doing. Check the packet before you buy it. And if I'd have done that, I'd have struggled, I think, to hit the protein without the fat later on in the day. But yes, generally I like to save myself a good amount of carbs when I get home to stop snacking late at night. Okay, so the topic of the video, does a personal trainer need to be in shape? And it's an interesting topic. I took this question to my Instagram. Here were the results. 4,783 people saw the post. 231 people decided to engage with it, so kind of either like it or interact. And I said, like the post if you think that the trainer should be in shape, and comment below and things like that. And the comments were quite interesting, but the overwhelming, as you can see from the likes and also from the comments, the overwhelming thing was that people consider generally, yes, a personal trainer needs to be in shape. I think that this opens a can of worms for me. It's an interesting topic. It's not like you could say a lot of like top level coaches or football coaches and things like that aren't in shape, but they're more about tactics, not just about the training itself. And when you see a personal trainer, generally they're doing a lot of activity themselves. But what I think is interesting is in fitness in general, people look at your shape and they kind of determine how much you know. And there's people on fitness, people on Instagram, with a big fitness page and a big following, and their training and their knowledge, they'll admit themselves, isn't very high. They say they aren't a trainer, they don't have the knowledge, but they're in good shape, and people listen to what they say. So that kind of opens a can of worms. And another question I asked was, what if a trainer, for example, was either taking performance enhancing drugs or maybe touching up their photos with a bit of Photoshop to make them look better than they are, or their transformations look better than they actually are. What happens then? Because then it kind of, especially the performance enhancing ones, like, okay, the person's now in shape, but would you then go to them for personal training? And I think if you ask most people, and I did, is generally they don't want to take steroids. And I think then that opens another kind of worms, because, okay, now I'm a personal trainer, I'm in shape, but I'm doing all these things that you don't like, so you don't want to train with me anymore. It's interesting how you could look at someone in that respect. I think for me, for what I'm going to go for this is my own point of view. You may disagree with that. Please feel free to let me know, comment, whatever. The empathy is massive, empathy and respect. So that whole thing about the performance enhancing drugs, people say they it's all about trust with their trainer, and there's so much trust and empathy you have with the trainer, and then the trust then carries on to if your trainer's in shape and they say, this is your diet, this is your training program, this is what I'd like to do. You're more likely to trust them if you've seen them kind of go through that process, you've seen them progress in their training, or they can give you examples of when they progressed in their training. For example, if I was like, stick to all that really healthy eating, I know it's going to be hard, people are going to tempt you, and then all of a sudden I'm eating cake and biscuits and crisps every single day of the week and I'm just ballooning out, then you're kind of like, well, I'm not going to listen to this guy, he can't stick to his own advice. So there is definitely certainly that sort of level in there. And from what I've gathered from the comments, please, if you don't already, like, follow me on Instagram, CDF Fitness, get involved in the discussions. They are fun, and there's no hatred. If I saw any negative comments where people are being personal, I would delete them straight away. But yeah, it's interesting to have a debate and have a discussion. What people think, what you perceive, and what other people perceive, and what actually is useful or not useful, as the case would be. But yeah, for me, I think a trainer should have been there and done that. So that when you're trying to go there and do that, they can give you advice and say, okay, I remember when my squat got stuck at this level, what I did was this, that, the other, and all of a sudden then your squat improved, rather than just getting to a wall and not coming up with no answers, and you're not really going to know that until you get to know the trainer, and hopefully they can be honest and respectable with you, and then you will kind of hopefully benefit from that. But yeah, interesting topic, but resounding generally. If you are a trainer out there, it turns out you got to be in shape. Who knew? But yeah, resounding, that is effectively what's come back from this topic. So if you don't already, guys, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and get involved in these discussions. Love to hear from every single one of you, especially just on Instagram or anything, whatever. That's where I'm mainly at. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry there's not much action in this video, more information and tips and stuff. But yes, next week I'll probably try and make it cinematic.